However, Fargo police posted pictures of a man on a bike who they say is a person of interest in the garage fires. Anyone with information about the identity of the man in the photos is asked to contact Fargo police at 701-241-5777. Anonymous tips may also be submitted by texting Fargo PD and the tip to 847-411. Fargo police are also asking for the public's help in identifying the man in these photos. They say he's a suspect in a burglary on Saturday, September 21st in the 2400 block of 13th Avenue South. They say around 9:15 that morning, this person broke into a restaurant and took about $3,000 from the register. Contact Fargo police if you know anything.